Good morning to everyone. My name is Barry London. The first Sunday after Christmas. What a wonderful time, and I welcome you all to the University Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. If you have any devices lurking about, please put a cloth on top of them or something, and we will proceed. As we settle in, I would invite everybody today, in addition to having your chalice, which we will proceed with, also have a paper and pencil nearby so we can use those in today's service, and your drawings or creations of the coronavirus for later. And now, for committee moments, I turn to Martha.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. I am looking around for waved hands and or little blue hands. And those would be, I see a blue hand. Crystal.
Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to let everyone know who may be interested that Parent Support Group is still going on virtually every Sunday night at 9 p.m. The link is available on the website. So if anyone would like to join us tonight, 9 p.m., you'd be more than welcome to.
Thank you, Crystal. I do not see any more virtual hands. So now I'm scanning the screen. Mary Ann.
Thank you, Martha. Social Action Committee will be meeting today at 11:55. I will put the link in the chat, and just to give you a heads up, we are focusing our efforts all next year on homelessness and affordable housing, which we really feel are the really key areas that are going to be affecting Central Florida. And we will have a speaker for the service on January 10th. Lisa Portelli, who is a senior advisor to Mayor Dyer on homelessness in Central Florida. So we will keep you informed, but we've met with her. She's very knowledgeable and can present a very good picture of the situation and actual ways that we can have an impact. And that's our focus, based on both our first and second principles, that we will be able to have a direct impact in addressing this. So thank you, and I will put the link in the chat.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Thank you. Lisa is a pretty amazing person. I read that she once rode her bicycle across the United States. Sarah.
This evening at 6:30, we will have the first meeting of the Spirit Seekers that are meeting on Sunday evening. Some people call it Spirit Seekers After Dark. This morning, an email went out with a Zoom link to people that had expressed interest. Please check your email for that. And I'm going to put my email in the chat. If anybody is interested that hasn't already contacted me, just let me know. I'll be happy to share the link with you and you can join us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. So glad to see another group starting. It's really been, I really enjoyed being part of the one that meets in the mornings. Scanning for more raised hands. I don't see any. I don't see any little blue virtual hands. And I see in the chat, Sarah just put hers. Spirit Seekers is would you like to explain it, or would you like me to, Sarah? It's a group that reads books that speak to our spirituality. They've read, we're reading right now, A Year of Living Kindly. Right before that, we read the Tao Te Ching, an interpretation by Wayne Dyer, Changing Your Life.
Change your thoughts, change your life.
Before that, we read Ernest Holmes. I don't remember the name of it. We read Simply Pray early in. That was before I joined. So I joined because normally I would not pick up a book like that. It would, different things have spoken to me, and I thought, we're on our search for spirituality. Let me try this. And I've really been pulled into it. It's been really a great way to broaden my thinking and just to, we read, you don't have to read ahead. like some book groups, because I'm always behind on those. This time we read out loud to each other, which sounds odd at first, but it's not. It's very, very nice. So try it out, Chloe. I hear you. Oh, I'm sorry, I was hearing my daughters. Okay, I don't see anyone else. And I would just like to, before I go, to tag on to Joey last week, who remembered to thank Chris for all her years of dedication to the newsletter, which I had meant to do and of course forgot. But I hope, Chris, that you've seen on the notable news, it says keeping us connected. Because when this church was first founded, they called our monthly newsletter, which was our main, before internet, the main way we communicated. And it was called The Connection because that's what it was, to keep us connected. And so in honor of Chris's dedication for all the years I've been at this fellowship, I wanted to keep that connection there. So that's why it says keeping us connected. So thank you again, Chris, for all of that. And I know she'll be contributing to the notable news. I guess that's it. I'll turn it back to you, Barry.
Our service this day encourages us to let go of that which doesn't serve us and to embrace and to be grateful for that which does as we move forward in community to a new year of hope and possibilities. For opening words today, I offer this reading written by Richard Fuchs from our Singing the Living Tradition hymnal. For the sun and dawn, which we did not create, for the moon and the evening, which we did not make, for food, which we plant but cannot grow, for friends and loved ones we have not earned and cannot buy, for this gathered company, which welcomes us as we are from wherever we have come, for all our free churches that keep us human and encourage us in our quest for beauty, truth, and love, for all things which come to us as gifts of being from sources beyond themselves, gifts of life and love and friendship, we lift up our hearts in thanks for this day. For the chalice lighting, we have the song first, excuse me.
Barry, they might be waiting for you to introduce it. I don't know.
And we're not hearing it, Barry.
I don't think so, Joy. This is opening music when our heart is in a holy place and we're mechanically working to put it together. We can listen to Joy, she's singing it, when our heart is in a holy place.
A little technical difficulties here, guys. Sorry about that.
That's okay, they happen.
I know all about technical difficulties. Anybody was heard a Christmas Carol the other night.
It got pulled together just beautifully, Chloe.
It did. It was wonderful.
Yes, I agree. And
Thanks to Chloe and Paul Mata, but mostly Chloe, but Paul Mata helped because he was on the phone.
yes. And I may have missed the last letter of the copy when I sent the link over. So if we find it, we can play it later. I mean, if it starts working, or we can wait just a little bit longer now.
Yeah, that little Control Alt is not working for me. I switched laptops here, guys. Sorry.
Ah. Well, we will be grateful if it starts playing at any point. So.
Barry, why don't you just sing it for us?
I did. Didn't you hear me?
If we got the words, we can all sing it.
A great rendition. Very good. Thank you, San Francisco. And for the lighting of the chalice, please join me as we recite these words in unison. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. And our affirmation, if you will join, Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. I wish to welcome everyone here today, and if we have any guests, certainly to you. As you see on our screen, we're a lay-led congregation. We have many different services, and so we invite you to come here more than a few times to listen to the different programs from our different and varied speakers. For our joys and concerns, we have given opportunity for people to come forward, in this case, to speak before us and to tell us their deepest concerns that are germane to our church, and also their joys, certainly their joys.
Barry, I turn it back to you.
And I, in turn, move to the letting go of burning bowl and the ritual to Joy.
Hi, everybody. Joey Cole here. On or near the first Sunday in January, and this is near the first Sunday, we're not quite there yet, many Unitarian Universalist congregations hold a ritual called the Burning Bowl or Fire Communion to bid farewell to the old year and to release it. I think a lot of us are looking forward to that release this year, particularly. In the words of Reverend Elizabeth Harding, quote, "The fire communion separates the end of the year from the beginning, helping us to put in perspective the joys and sorrows, the changes and transitions, the ups and the downs of the year," unquote. In the ceremony of the burning bowl, people are invited to write down words or phrases that sum up what they wish to release before entering the new year. You might write down a bad habit you'd like to break or a nagging fear that is holding you back. Sometimes it's just a negative thought that you need to let go of. So what I'm going to do right now in this ceremony is to ask you to take that paper and your writing implement, whatever it may be, that Barry told us about at the beginning, and write down the things that you want to let go of. Write down those negative things on a piece of paper. And I'm going to give you 2 minutes for that. Wow, some people have more to let go of than others. Okay, my dears, the time is coming close, so please finish up your list. Okay, traditionally, when we are all gathered at church, congregants would come forward after they'd written down what they wanted to release, and they would drop the piece of paper in the burning bowl. We had a special container for that. However, since we are attending from home today, and since this is an intergenerational program, meaning the kids are with us, we've decided, out of abundance of caution, that I will burn a symbolic list of negatives on the screen while you may rip your papers to shreds. And here I go, burning my things to let go of. Okay. And I hope you're ripping yours all up. We won't make you eat it though. Roar through my soul, flame and fire and searing heat. Burn all my fears to ash. Now send up your sparks on the breath of the wind, up to the sun, moon, and stars, snaking paths, road for my spirit to follow. Sweet, sweet release. May what you have released here be forever gone from your spirit and cease to trouble you. May you be relieved and renewed, ever mindful that love is always more powerful than fear, and that compassion is the key to freedom from resentment. There is the second installment of our ritual today. The children have been asked to come up and to make a representation of the COVID virus. Okay, something we all want to leave behind in 2020. Here it is. My representation of the coronavirus. It looks disgusting, doesn't it? Okay. All right, kids. Now this is your time. Again, I will symbolically burn the virus in our burning bowl. But kids, you can tear yours up. You can stomp on it. You can throw it around like a snowball. Let's just look forward to the vaccine and health and happiness in 2020. 2021. In 2021, let you be gone. Horrible virus. And now I'd like to turn this back over to Barry while I continue to burn my virus.
Okay, Joy, we're going to send the fire department over there to be sure everything's okay as we proceed with our interlude and offering. And this week's and last week's Share the Plate will go towards our own pastoral care fund to be used to support and assist our members and friends. Our SAC, Social Action Committee, will share a new program beginning in January. So we urge everybody to reach into their pockets with their hearts and be sure you don't have short arms. We want long arms to reach for deep pockets to contribute to our offering. And you may do it in the number of ways that they suggest here. I simply write a check each month, but there are other ways that it can be done as we read here. Open my heart. Thank you. We now turn to Paula Despang and Evelyn and the congregation to lead us into a program called Gratitude and Hope.
Unmute, Paula.
Going to read something she wants to share, and then we'll have some more people sharing what they're grateful for. I'm grateful for hair that sticks out. Okay. The Flashlight in Your Own Backyard. This is from a book titled Attitudes of Gratitudes by M.J. Ryan. And this is the story. I went to see my father in the hospital about a week before he died. He had suffered for years with emphysema, hooked up to an oxygen tank, barely able to move around, and was failing fast. Bedridden, he was on constant oxygen and medication. His 6'2" frame weighed only 130 pounds because eating anything but ice cream was too difficult. Every breath was a labored struggle. I asked him whether the quality of his life was worth all the effort. I still enjoy being alive, he responded. Sometimes it's easier to breathe, and then I really enjoy just quietly taking a breath. I still enjoy reading the comics in the newspaper and watching ball games on TV. My life is good. He said not a word about all that he had lost, all that he would never do again. When I was about to do some publicity for A Grateful Heart, previous book, I talked to my friend Donna Markova about how to speak about the power of gratitude. She's great at metaphors, which are wonderful ways to look at things from a new perspective. What she said, I've carried with me ever since. Gratitude is like a flashlight. If you go out in your yard at night and turn on a flashlight, you suddenly can see what's there. It was always there. You just couldn't see it in the dark. Exactly. Gratitude lights up what is already there. You don't necessarily have anything more or different, but suddenly you can actually see what it is. And because you can see, you no longer take it for granted. You're just standing in your yard, but suddenly you realize, oh, there's the first flower of spring struggling to emerge from the snow. Oh, there's a deer emerging from the scrub. Oh, there's the measuring cup you've been looking for that your daughter was using to make mud pies. It's just your ordinary old backyard, but suddenly you are filled with happiness, thankfulness, and joy. That's what my father did. Shining the light of gratitude on his life, he saw what was there that was good. The great thing about the flashlight of gratitude is that you can use it day or night, no matter where you are or what your circumstances. It works whether we're young or old, fat or thin, rich or poor, sick or well. All you need to do is turn it on. What it takes to turn it on varies from person to person. There was a renowned surgeon at a week-long workshop who, when asked what surprised or inspired him that week, said, nothing. He was invested in being cynical, but something disturbed him. He knew he had flunked the test the workshop leader had presented, and he was the kind of guy who always ended up at the head of the class. So he began looking around for things to report to the leader. By week's end, he was genuinely engaged in the excitement and wonder of life again. Even the other workshop participants noticed the difference. So if we have people who want to share what they're grateful for, or how they've got gratitude working in their life, stick up a hand. And Joey, unmute yourself and share something with us.
I was feeling sorry for myself earlier this week, that I can't see my brother and that I hardly ever see Jaden. You know, I see her occasionally, but because of the COVID, it's been difficult. And that my husband was, you know, he's been failing and so forth. And then I kind of did what Paula said, and I turned it around. I turned the flashlight around and I realized how lucky I am to have my husband here to have somebody to share my life with. That's really, I mean, I could be by myself during this and I'm not. And I'm really, really lucky. And I also feel needed, which is a wonderful feeling. Then I thought about Jaden, and I'm just so lucky to see her growing into her own person. And she gave me this incredible collage of pictures of her for Christmas that it just makes me smile every time I think about it. And when I see it, I just break out into a huge grin. And for my brother, I can't be there, that's true. But when I call, he lights up. His caregivers tell me, and you can hear it in his voice. He knows my voice. I'm something that he remembers from a place that he remembers. And that's really, it's small, but it's something that I can do. It makes me very happy.
Got that. That makes perfect sense to me. So who else do we have here today? Somehow I've lost all the crowd here. There we go. Who else needs to put their hand up and say something? Go ahead, Roberta.
Well, I had a friend who was suffering with cancer and had chemotherapy and lost her hair. And she got up every day, even though she was doing chemotherapy, went to work. And every morning she would say, "What hat do I wear today?" She went out and bought a bunch of pretty hats. And I took that lesson from her, that she kept her spirits up through the whole thing. By the way, she was a cancer survivor and is still alive today. And I get up every morning and I think about all the things that are wonderful, that there's no food shortage, there's no gas shortage, that I have a home, that I live on a lake, that I can go kayaking. And that's what I'm grateful for. And that's it.
More than enough. Thank you. We do have a lot to be grateful for. So I'm going to give Evelyn a chance to read what she brought with her for us today. Evelyn Shaland.
My gratitude all during this time, of course, my personal gratitude has been that my son has been here with me, which is wonderful, and that we have had fairly healthy family, and we've been able to do a wonderful Zoom together on Christmas Day. But I thought a great deal of people who don't have that and have this story, which begins, crises can help us discover much about ourselves and enrich our lives, which Joey just expressed. Another wonderful experience that can grow out of a seeming disaster is the joy of appreciation and gratitude. Patients who relearn how to walk, for example, are often delighted at being able to take 2 or 10 steps again. They appreciate tremendously something that they took for granted their entire lives. How many healthy or normal people are grateful that they can walk or talk? What would I do without talking? My guess is very few. But how much value is there in something taken for granted? If disaster enriches our lives with gifts that would otherwise have been taken for granted, is it really a disaster? Or is it a gift in disguise? Perhaps one of trouble's greatest side effects is that it teaches us that life is rarely the way we want it to be. Rather, life simply is the way it is. And we are simply the way we are. What we need is the desire to look for the gifts in ordinary and have gratitudes. When I can no longer say thank you for this new day and my waking into it, or for the scrape of the kitchen chair and the ticking of the space heater glowing orange as it warms the floor near my feet, then I know it's because I've been fooled again by the selfish, unruly one who lives in me and believes they deserve only safety and comfort. But if I pause, as I do now, and watch the stars winking off one by one, first thing in the day, then I can remember that one life is a gift each of us was handed and told to open. Untie the bow, tear off the paper, look inside, and be grateful for whatever you find, even if it is only the scent of a tangerine that lingers on your fingers long after you've finished eating it. Or perhaps these days, a Christmas cookie. Be grateful. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Evelyn. Right on the money. I think David wants to share something. David McElroy.
Greetings, greetings. I want to say that I am thankful for this congregation. It's been able to come every week when we haven't been gone, but mostly we've been here, and it's just been a wonderful time to see everyone and to share things with everyone. I also want to say I'm grateful for this woman sitting next to me, for my children, and for all that we have, the abundance that we have, and wish everyone a beautiful new year and 2021 to be healthy and safe. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Oh, okay. We're going to hear from Marilyn too. Her list is different.
Well, it probably isn't going to be that much different. And I'll probably never hear the end of this. But I'm really grateful for this man, my husband, David, sitting next to me. He supports me in my joys and my struggles. And I don't know what I would do without him. I would have been a very different person. And just also so grateful for this community. And I miss you all so much in person. Thank you.
Thanks, Marilyn. Is anyone else? Or have I got the last of it here?
I'm just gonna unmute because I have one and I can't.
Go ahead.
I can't figure out how to raise my hand. I'm sorry. I don't know
Doing
why.
this is perfect, Tina.
Okay.
You did good.
So my big gratefulness obviously is just being able to be here and still be working with the congregation, still, have Judith actually bringing our Zoom REs together, and the kids are focusing as well as they can with all the COVID and being online and already having to be, on a computer like all week, and but they're doing a great job, and I'm really grateful for Judith and the whole team that I have at Triple U, and that y'all still kept me employed, because I appreciate that in this time of very little hours at work every once in a while. So I'm grateful I still have my job though, because I know a lot of people lost their job, and so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that my entire family, who is all considered at risk for coronavirus, have not gotten it, knocking on wood that we still don't get it. I'm grateful I have a partner that loves me, and that I adopted a dog, and he's made my life very wonderful. So I've had a lot to be grateful for this year, and it's really nice to remember that with such a crappy year.
So there are some items in the chat with some people put their gratitude there, and that's fine. Ivan says, in 2020, I'm grateful for lessons learned and my own deepening in the Dharma, which makes perfect sense to me. I'm grateful from Luisa Rodriguez Scott. I'm grateful for the nurturing received from this UUUF family. And thank you to you all. Grateful for Triple U and my Triple UF Zoom groups from Laura Owens. And always love to hear from the McElroys. And today I'm grateful personally for my fine neighbors. I'm one of those people who I actually know the people who live up and down my block, all of them by name. And so I had a lovely visit with some of them on Friday. We stood out in the front yard in the wind, in the cold, but that's okay. We put on our coats and we stood out there in the front yard in our masks and we talked and it was good. I love those people, you know, I love them all. They're good neighbors and it's been a joy to live in this neighborhood because of them. So, among other things, and I'm going to finish up here since I'm not seeing any more raised hands.
Martha and Barry both have their hands up.
Do they? I did. How did I miss? Martha, is that your hand up?
It was.
It was? Okay. And Barry's hand is, okay, Martha first and then Barry.
Well, as someone who lives alone, I've been extremely grateful for this congregation, and I look forward to every Sunday. It's actually, there's some benefits to Zoom because you get to see everyone, whereas when we're together in the fellowship sanctuary, you don't always get to see people. You know, it's like, oh, I thought they were here, but they've gone already. So it's been a blessing. And every member of this congregation is just such a part of our fabric of being. And I just look forward to every week and all the people that have stepped up to help us create these virtual services and stay connected in so many ways. The covenant groups, Judith, Gina, and Sarah for making those happen. For everyone participating, for all the other ways that pastoral care and the board, that we have a great board this year. And I think we've grown in connection and we get back in person and it's okay to hug each other, but that's going to be a wonderful day. And until then, this is still bringing a lot of joy to my life and hopefully to yours. And I'm also grateful that this time alone gives you the opportunity to reflect and see the inequalities in our world even more, especially through this health crisis. And grateful for the SAC committee that's getting to head towards a new year with letting us help make a difference. And I'm really looking forward to that. So there are always things to be grateful for, as you and Evelyn and Joey have so eloquently led us to think about this morning. And it's really nice to see Ivan here this morning, one of our former members who's visiting from Rochester today. Isn't it nice to go to church even when you're not here?
I'm still technically a member.
I know you are. It's good to see you. And as soon as you finish seminary or even before, if you need to practice, send me an email. We'll see if we can get you in our schedule. That would be awesome. All right, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. And I agree, it would be awesome. So I'd like to hear from Barry now. He had something to share.
As we have remained hunkered down in our homes and cautiously looking out and witnessing the world from our TVs and other devices, the loss of jobs and the loss of income and the loss of food has just been overwhelming to all of us, I'm sure. And so I would like to, when I look at those incredible lines in Orlando, in other cities, multiple rows of people waiting to get food boxes. And then I think of the work of so many volunteers that we have had in the country and in our own area, both in money and time. the organization, the planning of people that are out there trying to help others. I'm grateful for them and wish to thank everybody that has done that. It's truly a difficult time, and it's been a very important thing to do. We need to do more.
Thanks, Barry. You speak to the heart of the matter. So the very last thing I have to share here is another story.
Paula, there's 2 more people with their hands up now.
Are there? Where do they come from?
It's Sammy and CJ.
Let's have Sammy first, please. That's great. I'm glad somebody's monitoring this. Thank you, Chloe.
It's all good. I just saw them pop up at the top of my screen, so I'm like, okay.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry for adding myself late. I just wasn't sure if I wanted to say anything. I'm really grateful. I've had an amazing but difficult year. I'm grateful that I've had work through all of this, literally through all of it, that has helped me stay through it. And even through difficulties I've faced, I still have friends and family that are willing to help me through those difficulties. And I got to work an election this cycle that was very rewarding and will provide me with so many more amazing opportunities because it went so well. So I'm so grateful for that. And I am very grateful for y'all. I feel like I have found a new community in my life that's very exciting. And it can be very isolating, existing in the world as we do today. And so it's just been really rewarding to be able to have another community to come to, even sparingly, as my life is very disorganized and overbooked. But it's just nice to know that on any Sunday I can drop by, or on any Thursday, even though I've only been to one of my covenant group meetings. It's just really nice to know that there's people here supporting me, that the only connection we really have, unless I knew them from school, is that we have like a common pursuit of these 7 really cool principles. And that's really awesome. So thank you all for being a really nice home and community for me.
It's our pleasure. Okay, so thank you for sharing that. And who did you say was next?
CJ.
CJ. Okay.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, thank you, Paula. And I just wanted to say really quickly, I know we're running short on time. I have truly been grateful for everything going on video this year because, as you guys know, I had been visiting on and off for probably about 3 years. And I had children that were very small. And it was hard to come and visit in person. So I've actually been able to be more active on video, which is the opposite of everybody else. But I have been so grateful for y'all's community and for keeping this up. Like, I've really looked forward to every Sunday since I became a member. And I'm so grateful for your community and I love you guys. So thank you.
Thank you. And Beth is going to be the last one today. Speak to me, Beth.
I want to thank the church so much because they have been so supportive in getting me out of my shell this year because I've been alone and feeling sorry for myself and not particularly well. And I'm not used to that. But it's been personal support too from members and as a group. And I'm also thankful for Zoom and that I can do it. and also my close friends outside of the church that help me almost daily, and giving me the oomph to continue on and push, because my mind is still very sharp and my body may not be, but my mind is. So I just want to thank everybody in and out of the church and the people that have helped me so personally in this time. And I'm glad to see 2020 go, even though I'm a year older. And my cat's bothering me right now. He's in the middle of it. He wants to walk over the keys, and I'm telling him he can't do that. He can't do that.
Typical cat.
Yes.
Typical cat. Thank you, Beth. I'm glad I waited for you to say your piece before I got into the last bit of whatever it is I have here. So I'm going to go back to this. Mark was walking home from school one day when he noticed the boy ahead of him had tripped and dropped all the books he was carrying, along with 2 sweaters, a baseball bat, a glove, and a small tape recorder. You can tell this story's got a little years on it. Mark knelt down and helped the boy pick up the scattered articles. Since they were going the same way, he helped carry part of the burden. As they walked, Mark discovered the boy's name was Bill and that he loved video games, baseball, and history, that he was having a lot of trouble with his other subjects, and that he had just broken up with his girlfriend. They arrived at Bill's home first, and Mark was invited in for a Coke and to watch some TV. The afternoon passed pleasantly with a few laughs and some shared small talk, and Mark went home. They continued to see each other around school, had lunch together a couple of times, and then they both graduated from junior high into high school. They ended up in the same high school where they had brief contacts over the years. Finally, the long-awaited senior year came, and 3 weeks before graduation, Bill asked Mark if they could talk for a minute. Bill reminded him of the day years ago when they had first met. "Did you ever wonder why I was carrying so many things home that day?" asked Bill. "You see, I cleaned out my locker because I didn't want to leave a mess behind for someone else to clean up. I had stored away some of my mother's sleeping pills, and I was going home to commit suicide. But after we spent some time together talking and laughing, I realized that if I killed myself, I would have missed that time and so many others that might follow. So you see, Mark, when you picked up those books that day, you picked up a lot more than that. You picked up my whole life." And this story is particularly important to me. That actually is the end of the story there. This story is particularly important to me because somebody rescued me when I was very depressed some years back, quite a few years back. And I had already made an appointment with myself to end my life. So I know what that means and what that's like and how important that is and how very grateful how very grateful I always was to the person who did that for me. And so I know how important Mark turned out to be for Bill. And we're all that important to each other. We all lift each other up every time we meet. And then we're all thankful for it. And so we say thank you to each other. Glad to have you in my life. Glad to be part of this community with you. Glad to be here today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for listening. And goodbye.
Paula, thanks for your heartfelt thoughts and for your program today. It's we've been able to listen to a lot of people that make us think about what's important to us in our lives. I would like to move to extinguish the chalice now. if you will join me, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now we take our leave. Before we gather here again, may each of us bring happiness into another's life. May we each be surprised by the gifts that surround us. May each of us be enlivened by constant curiosity, and may we remain together in spirit till the hour we meet again. These are words, and we wish to thank for these words Barbara Cheatham. I then say that we have our conclusion today for our service. I invite everybody to join in conversation, if you will, and to unmute your mics and to feel comfortable to visit with everyone as you like. Thank you.